if we did have Khalistan, who's going to run it? You can't trust nobody in the Sikh leadership today. Sant Jarnail Singh's mission was...
So what you're saying in a way is that you don't want Khalistan?
I think even in 84, what Sikhs were saying that if we don't mind staying in India as long as we can live freely.
But then at the end of the day, if somebody says, "Oh Lord ji, have your Khalistan," where will the borders of Khalistan be?
Okay, well, I mean, I'm to the extent that I can deal with those questions. The borders of Khalistan will be determined by, in effect, a UN-sponsored referendum. We've seen a referendum in East Timor, which led to East Timor's independence in recent years. Obviously, you've seen the former Yugoslavia, you've seen the ex-Soviet republics achieve independence. We've seen the reunification of Germany.
If you look at all the Maharaja Ranjit Singh, he ruled for 50 years. But then the British took over. They ruled for 99 years. And then the Indian government took over, or the Indians became free. They only ruled for 60 years, and look what's happening. Nagas are fighting, Assamese are fighting, Kashmiris are fighting. Why? Because nobody wants to be... It was a united... It was a united India.
Our respects to all the shaheeds who lost their lives during the time of 84.
What do we want? Khalistan! What do we want? Khalistan! What do we want? Khalistan! 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 Zindabad! Zindabad!
Sant Jarnail Singh Ji Khasa Pindramwale said, let's come under one Nishan Sahib, under one fold of Satguru Nanak Dev Ji and take Amrit. Thank you very much for watching. This is Aman Singh. You've been watching the Sikh channel. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khasa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
It's the atrocities of 9/11 and 7/7 that have fixed our minds on the turban being connected to terrorism. It's the image of the Taliban that's replaced our knowledge of the good things that the turban represents with ignorance and misunderstanding. The turban effect is proof of this, the idea that people see it as something to fear. But perhaps it's now time for a new way of thinking, one which promotes the turban for its spiritual and cultural importance, seeks to inform and educate, because through knowledge of what the turban represents, we get to see the world in a completely different light, one which we thought we knew, but are just beginning to understand. I'm Jason Sohal, and I'll be uncovering the origins and importance of the turban in modern Britain to see whether it's just harmless headwear or the fashion of a fanatic. The Sikhs have always had an important relationship with the British, forged through fighting side by side in campaigns in Burma, China, and during the First and Second World Wars. It's meant Sikhs were held in high esteem by many, including politicians who remembered the contributions and sacrifices Sikhs made at that time.
It's important, it was groundbreaking at the time, because that was the first time that a person's article of religious faith, their physical manifestation of their faith, had actually become a contentious issue. Up until then, people had been wearing, crucifixes or various other things, and it didn't matter. But very, very interesting, because it was 1982 was, bear in mind, only 3 years after the Southall riots where Blair Peach was killed.
There had been a series of cases involving Sikhs and turbans right from the start of sort of greater migration in the 50s. cases on the buses. You can't drive a bus or be a conductor.
We respect your right to physically represent your faith in this way. It's caused certain problems since then in certain directions, but from the Sikh community, I think it was groundbreaking.